The skies above major cities have changed dramatically over the past few decades. Where once only birds and the occasional airplane flew, now the air is filled with a buzzing fleet of personal flying vehicles. It all started back in 2025 when the first practical flying cars hit the market. Major automakers had been researching the technology for years, steadily improving stability and safety. Early models were expensive novelties for the ultra-wealthy, more about making a statement than practical transportation. But each year they got better and dropped in price. By 2030, top-end models could match the performance of a typical luxury sedan on the ground, while taking to the air with the flip of a switch. Prices were high, but within reach of upper-middle-class professionals. At first, they were mainly a status symbol and weekend plaything. But steadily, more models came out at lower price points. Government regulation initially put strict limits on where and when the cars could fly, wary of having the sky filled with chaotic air traffic. But the freedom they offered drivers was incredibly appealing. Pressure mounted from flying car owners and manufacturers, arguing the new technology was unfairly constrained. State after state slowly expanded permissions, allowing flying cars more flexibility. By the late 2030s, most major cities permitted flying cars to operate freely at altitudes above 500 feet. There were still strict safety requirements and licenses needed to operate them, but it was a major milestone. In the 2040s, prices dropped rapidly as production scaled up. Safety systems improved dramatically using autonomous navigation, assisted by AI. What was once only practical for short hops between designated vertiports now opened up free air routes across cities. Middle-class families started to adopt flying cars for daily commutes. The leapfrogged traffic congestion, shaving hours off travel times. Many people abandoned traditional cars altogether. Why crawl on congested freeways when you could fly smoothly overhead at 120 miles per hour? Urban planners were caught off guard by the rapid adoption curve. Sky traffic increased exponentially year after year. Commuters complained of airborne traffic jams. There were rising concerns over noise pollution and crashes. But the freedom and convenience of unrestricted personal flight was incredibly addictive. There was no going back. New infrastructure struggled to keep up. Vertiports popped up on top of buildings and parking garages, repurposing space once used for cars. Enthusiasts built backyard landing pads. High-speed public transit expanded to connect vertiports in city centers. Traditional commercial air travel was disrupted as short flights became easier and cheaper in a personal flying car. Airlines restructured schedules and focused on long-distance routes between major hubs. Regional airports saw huge drops in traffic. By 2050, flying cars outnumber ground cars in many major cities. For millennials and younger generations, flying is second nature. With self-driving autopilots, even younger teens can fly themselves around. Continued improvements in battery density extend range and fight noise and pollution. There are still accidents, and traffic management is increasingly complex. But the freedom of personal flight has become central to modern life. Looking ahead, many wonder if expanding drone delivery networks will unleash more three-dimensional transportation. Uber and Lyft now offer single-passenger drone taxis in some cities, as an alternative to cars on the ground or in the air. There are even early designs for electric vertical takeoff and landing (VTOL) aircraft that carry up to 50 passengers. If these larger capacity designs can mature and meet safety regulations economically, we may see regional air transit networks sprout up. The future of transportation is clearly three-dimensional. While flying cars may never fully replace ground vehicles, they have already begun transforming our cities and lives. The ease of personal flight unlocks new possibilities in how we connect and commute. There will certainly be challenges ahead, but once the sky opens up, it's hard to go back. Subscribe.